Dear students, Assalamu alaikum to all of you. Hope that you will be enjoying yourself and you will be busy in your studies. And today I am again with you. I have another topic for class 12th physics, and you know that we are dealing with magnetic effects of current. And our today's topic is force between two parallel current carrying conductors. As you know that when a current flows through a conductor and when it's placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a force. Similarly, if we have two wires carrying currents, both produce magnetic fields around them, and when one is placed in the magnetic field of the other, it will definitely experience a magnetic force. And when the other is placed in the magnetic field of the other, it will also experience a magnetic force. Means if the two parallel wires carrying current are placed in the magnetic field, in each other's magnetic field, they will experience a force. So we have to calculate the expression for that force. If we consider two infinitely long straight conductors AB and CD of length L1 and L2 respectively, carrying currents I1 and I2 in the same direction. The first case is we suppose that the current in the two wires is moving in the same direction. Then there will be another case when the current in the two wires will be moving in the opposite direction. First case is when the currents are in the same direction. We have two wires as you can see from the figure AB and CD. AB and CD, they are carrying currents in the same direction. So from the two figures, figure A and figure B, you can see that wire CD is placed in the magnetic field of wire AB. When a current flows in through a wire AB, a magnetic field is produced around it, and the direction of magnetic field is given by right hand thumb rule, as you know that. And then we see that the magnetic lines of force are concentric circles, as you can see from the figure. They are concentric circles. So when we put the another wire, that is CD, in the magnetic field of AB, this CD will experience a force. CD will experience a force, and the force experienced by CD will be directly proportional to the current flowing through CD. Number one, it will be directly proportional to the current flowing through CD. It will be directly proportional to the length of CD. Remember this thing. And it will be directly proportional to the magnetic field B produced by AB. Remember these three things. The magnetic force experienced by a conductor CD will be directly proportional to the length of the conductor CD, that is L2. It will be directly proportional to the current flowing through CD, that is I2, and it will be directly proportional to the magnetic field B1 produced by AB. So we know that the magnetic field produced by B1 is equal to mu naught I1 upon 2 pi r. Similarly, the magnetic field produced by B2, that is equal to mu I2 divided by 2 pi r. Remember these things. We have already derived this expression in our earlier class. So according to Fleming's right hand rule, the direction of B1 at point P is perpendicular to the plane of paper directed inwards. If you apply Fleming's left hand rule to the wire CD at point P, we see that the direction is upwards. The direction in wire CD is upwards. So if you draw a tangent to the circle at point P, if you draw a tangent to the circle at point P, then you will see that the direction of magnetic field B1, magnetic field B1 produced by AB, B1 is downwards. Then since the current carrying conductor CD is in the magnetic field of AB, therefore the conductor CD will experience a magnetic force due to AB. Let us suppose that F2 is the magnetic force experienced by AB due to CD. F2 is the magnetic force experienced by AB due to CD, and then using F is equal to ILB sine theta, F2 will be equal to I2 L2 B1 sine 90. Force experienced by wire CD, sorry, wire AB will be equal to I2 L2 B1 sine 90, which implies that since theta is equal to 90 degree here, sine 90 is 1, therefore F2 will be equal to I2 L2 B1. When we substitute the value of B1, then F2 will be equal to I2 L2 mu naught I1 upon 2 pi R. Because we have already calculated the value of B1, we have already given it above in the figure. B1 is equal to mu naught I1 upon 2 pi R. This implies F2 will be equal to mu naught I1 I2 upon 2 pi R into L2. Let F2 dash is the force per unit length. Per unit length, it is here per unit length. Let F2 is the force per unit length. Then F2 dash is equal to F2 by L2, which implies F2 dash is equal to mu naught I1 I2 upon 2 pi or L2 and L2 will cancel. We substitute value of F2, then F2 dash will be equal to mu naught I1 I2 upon 2 pi or let's denote this equation by 2. Now by Fleming's left hand rule, the direction of F2 dash is towards AB. You apply, we know that Fleming's left hand rule tells us if the current is in the direction of the center finger and magnetic field is in the direction of the first finger, then the force will be in the direction of the thumb. But we have to keep them mutually perpendicular to each other. You apply this to, and you will see yourself that F2 is directed towards AB. Similarly, it can be shown that the force per unit length F1 dash experienced by AB due to CD is given by F1 dash is equal to mu naught I1 I2 upon 2 pi R. Here there is a correction. I am sorry, there is a correction. In first case, F2 is the magnetic force experienced by CD due to AB. It is CD due to AB, and here it is AB due to CD. In first case, on your left side, you can see that F2 is equal to magnetic force experienced by AB. It is not AB, it is CD. Force experienced by CD due to AB. Similarly, if F1 dash is F1 is the force experienced by AB due to CD, then we can show that in the same way as I have shown you in first case, F1 dash, it can be shown that F1 dash is mu naught I1 I2 upon 2 pi R. So let us denote this equation by 3. As you can see from equation 2 and 3, F1 dash is equal to F2 dash. They are equal. They are equal but opposite. And by Fleming's left hand rule, the direction of F1 dash is towards CD because B2 at point Q is directed upwards. At point Q, it is in fig B. In fig B, you can calculate the force experienced by AB due to CD. In fig A, you can calculate the force experienced by CD due to AB. There is a correction. It is CD due to AB. So from equation 2 and 3, we see that F1 dash is equal to minus F2 dash. It means that the two linear parallel conductors carrying currents in the same direction will attract each other. AB will attract CD towards itself and CD will attract AB towards itself. So they will attract each other because the forces are equal and opposite. With the force per unit length, which is equal to either F1 dash or F2 dash, that is mu naught I1 I2 upon 2 pi R. Now case second, when the current is in the opposite direction, if the current through the two wires is in the opposite direction. Again, we consider two wires AB and CD, and they are like L1 is the length of AB and L2 is the length of CD. Similarly, if I1 is current through AB and I2 is the current through CD, and B1 is the magnitude of magnetic field produced by AB and B2 is the magnitude of the magnetic field produced by CD, then we can uh, it can be shown that uh, we can show that the force. So here is a picture. From this picture you can see that the current in the two wires is in opposite direction. In wire AB, it is upwards, the current is flowing upwards, and in wire CD the current is flowing downwards. So according to Fleming's right hand rule, the direction of B1 at point P, you can see that the direction of B1 at point P is downwards. That is, it is perpendicular to the plane of the paper, but it is directed inwards. It is directed inwards. Since the current carry current CD is the magnetic field of B1 of AB, therefore the conductor CD will experience a magnetic force due to the conductor AB. Let F2 is equal to magnetic force experienced by CD due to AB. Here it is correct, but in first case I had mistakenly written it as AB due to CD, but it is actually CD due to AB. Remember this thing. F2 is the magnetic force experienced by CD due to AB. Then using F is equal to ILB sine theta, we get F2 is equal to I2 L2 B1 sine 90, which implies F2 is equal to, since sine theta is 90 degree here, F2 is equal to I2 L2 B1, which implies F2 is equal to I2 L2 mu naught I1 upon 2 pi R. So F2 will be equal to mu naught I1 I2 upon 2 pi R L2. Let F2 is the force per unit length. Again here it is F2 dash is the force per unit length. Then F2 dash will be equal to total force experienced by this wire CD due to AB divided by total length of the wire. So F2 dash force per unit length will be equal to total force by total length, that is F2 by L2. This implies F2 dash is equal to mu naught I1 I2 upon 2 pi R, because L2 and L2 will cancel out. Now by Fleming's left hand rule, the direction of F2 dash is away from AB. You can apply Fleming's left hand rule on wire CD and you will see that as the current is represented by the central finger, so the central finger must be directed downwards, and B must be directed inwards into the paper, plane of the paper. Then you will see by your left hand that thumb pointers away from the wire CD. So the direction of F2 is away from AB. Similarly, it can be shown that the force per unit length F1 dash experienced by AB due to CD is given by F1 dash mu naught I1 I2 upon 2 pi R. They have the same magnitudes F1 dash and F2 dash. But here by Fleming's left hand rule, the direction of F1 dash is away from CD. You can see, but you can apply this to wire CD. Then you will see that here the current is upward, so the center finger must be directed upwards, and this B must be directed away from the plane of the paper, that is above the plane of the paper. Then you can see that F1 is directed away from CD. Here again F1 dash and F2 dash are equal and opposite, but directed away from each other. So in first case they were equal opposite but directed towards each other. Here they are directed away from each other. It means that the two linear parallel conductors carrying currents in the opposite direction will repel each other with the force per unit length equal to mu naught I1 I2 upon 2 pi r. So we can, from this equation we can define ampere. If I1 is equal to I2 is equal to 1 ampere, that means if the current in the two conductors is 1 ampere, if the current flowing through the two conductors where they are moving this, if the current is moving in the same direction or in the opposite direction, but the magnitude of the current is 1 ampere, and if the two conductors are held at a distance of 1 meter apart, if they are held at a distance of 1 meter apart, that's r is equal to 1 meter, and we know that mu naught upon 4 pi, that is equal to k, that is the force constant, and it is value we have already calculated that it is 10 raised to minus 7. Then f1 dash is equal to f2 dash is equal to mu naught I1 upon I2 upon 2 pi r. Then we substitute the above values in this equation, we get f1 dash is equal to f2 dash is equal to 2 into 10 raised to power minus 7 Newton per meter, because f1 dash and f2 dash are the forces per unit length, so it will be Newton per meter. Thus 1 ampere is that current which, when flowing through two parallel uniform linear conductors, because we have put the current I1 and I2 equal to 1 ampere. So 1 ampere current is that current which, when flowing through two parallel uniform linear conductors, each of length 1 meter. The length of the two conductors must be 1 meter, not more than that, just 1 meter, and they must be placed at a distance of 1 meter from each other. That is, they must be at distance of 1 meter apart from each other. They will, what will they do? As you I told you, if the current is in the same, they will attract, and if it is in the opposite, they will repel. So they will attract or repel each other with a force of 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton per meter. So what you will do, you will take two conductors of length 1 meter, then the current in the two conductors must be 1 ampere in both the conductors, and the distance between them must be 1 meter. And if you feel that they exert a force of 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton per meter, or 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton, because we know that we have just a conductor of 1 meter, so it can be 2 into 10 raised to minus 7 Newton, then the current in the two wires will definitely be 1 ampere. Thank you. See you inshallah in the next class. As you can see from the screen, that our next class will be torque experienced by a current loop in uniform magnetic field. See you inshallah in the next class. Thank you.